The containment breach sirens wailed through the Kepler research station like banshees in the void. Dr. Zexathara's forearms trembled as she watched the security feeds, her chitinous exoskeleton clicking nervously against the observation decks, railing. The creature they had been studying, designated Subject 47, Alpha, had somehow escaped its reinforced biochamber. "How?" she whispered in her native tongue, though the translation matrix rendered it in standard galactic. The thing on the screen was a nightmare given form. Standing nearly 3 meters tall, Subject 47 Alpha resembled a cross between a Terran scorpion and a Vegan shadow weaver. Its obsidian carapace gleamed under the station's emergency lighting, and its tail, tipped with a stinger the size of a sword, swayed hypnotically behind it. Most terrifying were its compound eyes, each one reflecting 1,000 angry stars. The creature had already killed 2 security guards and injured 3 scientists. Its venom was unlike anything in the galactic database, a cocktail of neurotoxins that shut down nervous systems in seconds while keeping victims conscious enough to experience every moment of their death. "All personnel to emergency stations," Captain Mordak's voice boomed through the intercom. The Krillian's usual composure was cracking. "Deck 7 is sealed. We're venting it to space in 10 minutes. Dr. Zexathara's heart sank. Deck 7. Housed the xenobiology labs, the cultural archives, and, most importantly, the human. Marcus Chen had been their most unusual research subject, though he'd volunteered for the position. The human claimed to be an animal behaviorist. Whatever. That meant in Terran parlance. Most species found his presence unsettling. Humans had a reputation throughout the galaxy as either brilliant diplomats or terrifying warriors, with little middle ground. Marcus had spent months studying Subject 47 Alpha, often sitting motionless for hours outside its containment unit. The other researchers thought him mad, but Dr. Zexathara had noticed something peculiar. The creature was always calmer when the human was present. "Captain," she spoke into her communicator, "the human is still on Deck 7. "Then he's dead. Already," Mordak replied coldly. "We cannot risk the entire station for one individual," but Dr. Zexathara was already moving, her research assistant pilot following close behind. They reached the sealed blast doors just as the security feeds showed Marcus standing in the main corridor, facing the advancing creature. The human looked impossibly small and fragile compared to Subject 47 Alpha. He wore no protective gear, carried no weapons, just his usual worn leather jacket and calm expression. The creature's tail arched high above its head, venom already beating at the stingers. "Tip, what is he doing?" Pilot whispered, his translator struggling with his rapid speech. Dr. Zexathara activated her emergency override, opening an audio channel to Deck 7. What she heard defied all logic. Marcus was humming. It wasn't any tune she recognized, a low, rhythmic sound that seemed to vibrate through the station's hull. The human's eyes were locked with the creature's compound gaze, and slowly, impossibly, he began to approach. "Subject 47 Alpha," Marcus said softly, his voice carrying that strange human cadence that seemed to bypass reason and speak directly to something deeper. "That's not your real name, is it?" The creature's tail wavered, its forward momentum slowing. "Back on Earth," Marcus continued, still humming between words, "we have creatures like you. Beautiful, ancient things. They're often misunderstood, feared for their power." He took another step closer. "But every living thing responds to the same language: respect, patience, understanding." Dr. Zexathara watched in fascination as Subject 47, Alpha's aggressive posture began to shift. The creature's tail lowered slightly, its compound eyes focusing entirely on the human. "You're scared," Marcus whispered, now close enough that the creature's tail could strike him in an instant. "This place, these lights, all these strange smells, it's not home, is it?" The human extended his hand slowly, palm up. Dr. Zexathara held her breath as the creature leaned forward, its massive head approaching Marcus's outstretched fingers. "I know you can understand me," Marcus said, his voice barely audible over the intercom. "Maybe not my words, but my intent. I've been watching you for months, learning your language, Subject 47. Alpha made a sound, something between a purr and a mechanical hum. Its stinger came to rest inches from Marcus's palm, but it didn't strike. "That's right," Marcus murmured, beginning to stroke the creature's head with gentle, methodical movements. "You're not a monster. You're just lost." The transformation was remarkable. The creature's aggressive stance melted away entirely, its massive form settling onto the floor. Its eyes closed one by one until only a few remained open, watching Marcus with what could only be described as trust. "Sleep now," the human whispered, his humming growing softer. "Dream of home." And incredibly, impossibly, Subject 47 Alpha did. The massive creature curled its tail around itself like a cat and settled into what appeared to be peaceful slumber. Dr. Zexithara's hands shook as she opened the blast doors. She found Marcus sitting beside the sleeping creature, gently stroking its carapace. "How?" she managed to ask. Marcus looked up, offering that enigmatic smile humans were known for. "Every creature speaks the language of kindness, Doctor. You just have to know how to listen first." As the security team carefully approached to recontain Subject 47, Alpha, now docile and compliant, Dr. Zexithara realized she was witnessing something that would reshape xenobiology forever. Humans didn't just conquer or negotiate with other species. Sometimes they simply understood them, and that perhaps was the most terrifying and beautiful power in the universe.